This just in. Monsters of an unknown origin have invaded numerous cities throughout the world, causing massive destruction and civil unrest. Who are these creatures? Where did they come from? And what do they want? We now take you to the headquarters of the diabolical minds believed to be responsible for these gargantuan creations.
War of the Monsters is a platform fighter. It's set in the style of vintage sci-fi monster movies with big creatures battling in cities, grabbing cars and throwing them at each other, grappling and punching, smashing the city. As you progress through it, you kind of see a simple story evolve, just like you would in any typical B movie.
Armies are mobilizing while local authorities are doing their best not to aggravate these gargantuan beasts.
In War of the Monsters, everything is interactive. Every building you see, you can crush it and destroy it. Debris scatters on the ground. If cop cars drive by, you can pick them up and throw them. Climb to the top of a skyscraper and there's a radio tower there, peel it off, throw it at your enemy and impale him.
So it's not just the stuff's interactive, but they also actually function differently. So when I grab like a power transformer off of a building, I actually can fire electrical blasts out of it. You can do things like sneak up on people and kind of shove them into the power lines and watch them get shocked. When the military attacks you, if you take the risk to run up at them, you can pick those guys up and you can launch missiles at your opponents.
There are some levels where just swarms of military choppers right out of the movies will come right at you, and you can smash and destroy some of them, or you can grab one, look at your opponent, and then throw it right back at him.
Just like the monsters of the Atomic Age, these titanic nightmares seem to be bent on the destruction of anything in their path. Buildings are being knocked over like blocks. Cars hurled like toys. The cityscape has become a giant playground for these battling behemoths.
The environments not only provide debris and things to throw, but they also have a number of built-in weapons to them or built-in events that occur. We have this kind of neon futuristic city setup where you can actually trigger tidal waves that will come out and kind of wash your enemies partially away. We have another one that's set in this tropical resort kind of setting with a volcano in the background and supposedly dormant. And as you fight kind of on the shoreline, you can actually find ways to trigger the volcano, which will begin raining hot lava down at your opponents.
Here at WPSU News, we are tracking each monster as it rampages through the streets, causing great havoc. Once these creatures get closer to each other, we'll be switching you live to our close combat camera for a better view of the action.
We didn't want to be a standard fighter, tied down in hand-to-hand combat. We wanted to be able to have the players do free roaming combat, long range and short range. So if you're doing two-player deathmatch, for example, you have a traditional two-player split screen so that you can run around the arena. But when you get close to the monster, the real-time changes, and the two viewports become one into a more traditional fighting view. Then you can wail away on each other in hand-to-hand combat. Sometimes you end up going from rooftop to rooftop in these very dramatic monster battles, which usually climax in a heavy hit from Rockman or one of the other slower, heavier characters, knocks you completely out of the level, and then it transitions you back into two viewports.
These monsters seem to be in complete control of the destruction. What makes them so agile and powerful?
When we started off designing War of the Monsters, we wanted to make the game very pick-up and play, very mass market, but we didn't want to lose the hardcore gamer. So what we did was we developed a control scheme that allowed a newbie to pick it up and just wail away on the buttons and have a really good time. Simple light attack button, heavy attack button, hybrid action button, and jump. That's it. But then as you play further and further into the game, the more advanced players will find that they can do modified combos. What happens is as you play through the game, different types of mechanics emerge in different combos. So you might do jump and then climb a building, jump off the building, and then do a butt stomp. Go right into hand-to-hand combat, do up and heavy to do a stun hit, grab the guy and throw him into a building. Now those are all just mechanics that are built right off a very simple control pad layout, but they also yield a very spectacular combo.
unbelievable! The one creature actually seems to be challenging the other to a fight! He's literally taunting him! Well, folks, this can't be good!
What would a fighting game be without having the ability to taunt your opponent? You're sitting on your couch, you just beat down your buddy, you have to be able to taunt him, make him feel really bad about what just happened. But in War of the Monsters, we take the taunting a little bit further. When you get fully boosted, when your monster collects enough monster energy and you taunt, you get a boost. And for a set amount of time, you do like double or triple damage depending on the character. So taunting not only is cool just from the demeaning value to your opponents, but it also is an integral part to gameplay.
Is it the end of the world? Will humanity survive? Which monster will prevail? Stay tuned for more at 11.
Earth, 22nd century. 5 years after the rebellion on Mars, an elite squad of nano-enhanced soldiers join forces with the faction to put an end to 15 years of unnecessary bloodshed under the brutal dictator Sopot. Red Faction 2. In designing the sequel to Red Faction, one of the best-selling and critically acclaimed releases of 2001, the team at Volition was determined to create an even more immersive experience for the hardcore action fan. They started by improving on the revolutionary GeoMod engine which they had pioneered for Red Faction, literally blowing away the static environment concept of competing first-person shooter games. GeoMod technology allows the player to alter and destroy the game world in real time.
Red Faction 2 is using an enhanced version of the GeoMod engine that we featured in Red Faction 1. We've made it faster, it's more stable now, and I think it reflects the new philosophy in design that we've taken. We wanted to increase the number of ways and the number of solutions a player could approach any situation with. And we did so just by making everything that we could think of destructible. We incorporate both real-time and scripted destruction, both arbitrary and positionally determined, to really just make it feel like you can blow apart absolutely everything in the world. And I think that's what players really enjoy doing.
The ground-up improvements continued with faster load times, higher frame rates, better graphics, more detailed enemies, motion capture animation, and smarter AI. With improved technology in place, the team entered the design phase, hashing out details of story, level design, and character.
We try to develop our characters around the gameplay that you'll see the character in. After the concept phase, they move into being modeled in 3D. We approve the 3D model, we apply textures to it so it looks like a final product. Then it's brought into game. We apply motion capture animation to the model, and that's what really brings it to life.
For the honor of the Commonwealth tonight, Sopot dies.
To voice the pivotal role of Squad Commander Molov, THQ brought in Hollywood veteran Lance Henriksen, known to audiences from films like Aliens and Terminator.
And smarter than anybody else.
It's written in a very focused way. All of these lines that are in this are used as guideposts for something that's going on in the game, but you still have to flesh it out.
They would destroy the technology that created us. I will use the nanotechnology as it should be used.
I played squad leaders, and I played soldiers and cops, and you know, so I'm drawing on that reality that I already know to include it into this.
Those guys have more guts than sense.
With the lines being blurred between interactive entertainment and traditional Hollywood movies, you'll start to see a lot more recognizable names occurring in video games. And by casting Lance, you know, we feel we're on the cutting edge of that movement or that trend.
The futuristic setting inspired an imaginative array of vehicles and weaponry for the game, including nano-enhanced weapons that are faster, more accurate, and more lethal.
Red Faction 2 combines sort of traditional realistic type environments and weapons and vehicles with a futuristic twist. And this gives our designers a lot of creative freedom to experiment and come up with the things that are the most fun and the most cool.
Another added feature is dual-handed weaponry.
In Red Faction 2, now, when you're holding the gun with your right hand, you can actually throw the grenade with your left hand. And you can wield a gun in both hands and fire them independently with a trigger from both sides, actually, now. And there'll be a lot of times when you'll be blazing away with, you know, rounds coming from both sides.
With wall-to-wall action, the team at Volition hopes that players will come back to fight for the faction again and again.
What up? My name's Mike Hurahan, and today I'll be showing you a cool move in Evolution Skateboarding where you can get 99 trick combo quite easily if you do it right. So what you want to do is go into a manual and then hold down the triangle button to continue this manual. While jumping, switch from nose manual to tail manual and then slip a trick in between those two. It doesn't really matter what trick. You can either use a flip trick or a grab trick. And then just continue this process repeatedly and you will obtain the 99 trick combo. Alright, this requires some timing and a good sense of rhythm, but if you have opposable thumbs like I do, then you can probably pull it off. Maybe.
Hi, I'm Alex Stahl. I'm a tester in Format QA, and I'm here today to show a cool move for Romance of the Three Kingdoms 7. I'll show you how to unlock a secret character. I'm at the main menu screen here. I'm going to go to New Officer, select Create New Officer, select Name, and for the last name I'm going to put in Sun. For the first name I'm going to put in Su. It's the author of The Art of War in ancient Chinese text. After I put that in, hit enter, I've unlocked a secret character with tons of skills. So as you can see, this is a pretty basic move. All you have to do is enter the name Sun Tzu and you get a very powerful character. Have fun conquering China with him.
Hi, my name is Sandra Mitchell and I'm from Format QA, and I'm here to show you a cool move on Gravity Games Bike. It's how to complete the high score task on each level using one combo move. What you want to do is go through the game and find an area that has a lip so that you can do a peg stall on it. And you want to do a peg stall, jump, and then keep hitting the triangle button to do it over and over again. And what it does is make one huge combo move that scores a lot of points so you can beat them all in one try. And you beat both the tasks. Now this trick is more useful in the later levels when you have to score higher. You can just keep doing the trick after the timer stopped.
Hi, my name is Saul Villegas, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Wild Arms 3. I'm going to show you how to perform a special attack that does over 50,000 points of damage. Let me show you how it's done. Right now I'm in the Sacrificial Altar and I'm fighting the Hydra boss. To start off the special attack, head into the Guardian menu and equip Jet with the Violator gear. You get the Violator gear in the Cradle of Metal Gods. Once you got that equipped, go to your personal skills and select Jet, and go down to Finest Arts and pump that all the way up. Now you got that taken care of, you want to make sure that Jet's force points are full and that he's unloaded his entire clip. Now what you want to do, since your clip is completely unloaded and your force points are full, go to your force abilities and select Gatling. Now watch, on the 4th hit here, I will do attack that's over 40,000 points of damage. And as you can see, I just defeated this boss in one attack. Alright, let's recap this special attack. First of all, you want to make sure that your character's force points is at 100. Second of all, make sure the bullet clip is completely empty. And third, make sure that the Violator gear is equipped on that character. Keep in mind, you can't get the Violator gear until you've been to the Cradle of Metal Gods. And at Crutch and Shifty, you should try this special attack because you'll defeat most of these bosses in one turn.
Hi, I'm Alex Stahl. I'm a game tester with Format QA, and I'm going to show you how to win every face-off in NHL Hitz 2003. The face-off is a basic rock, paper, scissors game, and the CPU will tip you off to what he's going to do. So I'm at a face-off here. The CPU tips off that he's going to do a pass, so I do a poke check, and I win the face-off. The CPU will also tip you off if he's going to do a body check or a poke check, so look for that as well. The rock, paper, scissors game is poke check beats pass, body check beats poke check, and pass beats body check. Learn the CPU tip off and you'll be able to win every face-off. Have fun with it.
This whole ramp setup has all the makings of being a level on a video game.
It's an amazing ramp. It's probably the best ramp I've ever ridden.
I've come up with over 100 original tricks. The 900, the backflip, the flare, no-handed 540s, Indian airs.
My contest style has been known for consistency, smoothness, and just back-to-back tricks.
People know me mostly for doing a 900. It's the one trick I worked on the longest that I couldn't do. Yeah, I've been in video games since Pac-Man, basically.
Yeah, I'm a big video game fan for sure.
They're always at the skate park. So when we're not skating, we're in the arcade playing games. Any skate video game, I had to have it.
I love those games. It's what I like to do in reality, so to do it in fantasy a little bit, it's pretty cool.
I literally bought a Commodore 64 just to play Skate or Die.
When you find a game that you've never seen and you get interested in it, I think you just put everything aside and go play it all day.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games.
I play PlayStation 2 actually a lot. I like Tiger Woods golf.
Kelly Slater's pro surfing. That's a lot of fun. It makes me feel like I can surf these huge waves that you only read about.
Tony Hawk's skateboarding game.
I've been playing Tony's and Sean's, and I play around with Spider-Man sometimes.
Grand Theft Auto.
Chris Edwards' inline game looks awesome. It looks really good.
I've always had a soft spot for Parappa the Rapper, so I'm gonna get the PlayStation 2 version.
Gran Turismo 3, that one's pretty sick.
I'm no good at rapping. I just love the scenarios they come up with in the game, and the other characters.
We got snowed in North Carolina one time, and I seriously played for 2 days straight.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Matt Hoffman, Pro BMX.
Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX.
Been working on the second version to it, polishing it up right now. It's coming out in August.
Number 3 is coming out in the holiday season. I've sat on the couch and played that thing for over 50 hours at least.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 in Japan. Try to get up to the gong. You'll break through into a whole new area. But it's hard. You got to grind, get up, and then finally break into the gong. And it took me a while to figure that one out.
Each different character you play and beat the game with, you're going to have a new surprise. So it'll be a lot to do, but it'll be fun.
I know some of the challenges are pretty tough. The best thing is just go on the internet and try to get the secret codes. Skip all that.
I get involved with making a game mostly by just supplying reference materials, tricks, locations, ideas.
Anything that I can help with, I help with, and when I can, I kind of step aside and go ride.
I'm as involved as I can be. It's my name on it, and it really is there to represent who I am, so I try to keep that as true as possible.
I mean, the level of the video games now is exactly what you look like is what you're going to look like on the video games. It really does bring some reality to it, without the injuries.
I've been injured quite a bit. I kind of sacrifice pain for the pleasure.
Knocked my teeth out.
I've had 14 operations.
The gnarliest injury I've had was losing my spleen in 1995.
I've been knocked out a few times.
I've broken 50 bones.
I just got tangled on my handlebars.
I've been given 20 minutes to live because of internal injuries before.
I slammed pretty hard and tore it in half, and there it went.
Well, I've only broken one bone skating, and that's my elbow. Friday the 13th, 4 years ago.
I've been in a coma.
There's 2 screws in here. They put the bone back in.
You kind of have to be the guinea pig sometimes to see where the limits are. So it's been a hell of a ride.
challenge and learn something. Run, get him in the car! Move! Move!
Where's my son, you fat bastard? Stop talking and start listening, Hammond. You don't do what I tell you, you don't do it where I tell you, you don't do it when I tell you. The kid died.
Let's move. We'll have him. Hold on, what about the backup friend? You can wait if you like, but I'm going in.
Rise and shine, Marky boy. You got work to do.
As far as we know, it's the most accurate recreation of a real city in any game or any entertainment product ever.
There's all the touristy spots, like, for example, Piccadilly, Leicester Square, as the Parliament. But what we wanted to do with our version of London was also show the kind of the seedier side of it. And this was done deliberately to kind of get across the gangster sort of side of it.
So we've got the south of the river, we've got all the seedy backwaters, alleys, dingy, unpleasant bits of London as well.
Now the guy who was actually making the roads took reference from an ordnance survey map, so we could get all the angles of the road correct, the slopes, the hills, the dips.
So everything's accurate, it's built off the real roads. 1 foot is 1 foot, 1 metre is 1 metre, a mile is a mile.
We have 18 interiors based on locations which really exist. So the guys go there and they take their 10,000 photographs of every square inch, the walls, the rats, the pipes, the ducting, the lot, and we bring it all back. The guys scan them in, they build up 3D Maya models from the sketches. So we try to create believable environments that you do believe that you are in a brothel, you are on a ship, or you are, you know, in a police station, that sort of thing. No one's ever gone to the detail that we've done in the production values of this. This is the closest thing to film without being filmed.
Bring them all down, we'll massacre them all, okay?
If you're going to make a really realistic city, we've got to concentrate really heavily on the cars. We've got about 60 cars in the game, and we went out and approached a lot of manufacturers and said to them, this is the type of game we're making, and this game isn't about the cars, this is about a city and an action story. But, you know, all of your cars are currently in the streets of London.
We tried having quite a cross-section of cars, so we've got some sporty cars, we've got things like Lexuses and BMWs in there. But if you look around London, it's not all souped-up cars, there's a lot of gritty cars there, cars with bumps and knocks in them, and I think we tried to sort of get that in the game.
So if you're in a richer area of London, like Mayfair or something, we choose more expensive cars to populate that area. And in the poorer areas, we have simpler cars. So as you're driving around, you should get a complete variation of cars. And different cars would definitely give you an edge in certain situations. If you're in a high-speed chase, you're being chased by the police, you obviously want a nice fast car. If you steal a taxi or something, that's a slow car, but it's got really good manoeuvrability, so it can turn on the spot, which is good if you want to be twisting in and out of streets and things like that.
So the approach to the game has been more like a movie, because we use realistic city and really incredibly realistic cars, making a movie that you could actually play. Well, we took inspiration not just from other games, but we also took a lot of inspiration from 20 years worth of English gangster films. Get Carter, The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins and Michael Caine, and then right up to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
The game's set in London, and there's two protagonists. So there's Mark Hammond, who's an ex-gangster, and Frank Carter, who's a copper. And the story begins as Mark wakes up in his apartment, and he hears screams coming from downstairs, and it's his wife. And he runs out, and his wife's been murdered in the street. Has no idea why, and his son's just been bundled into a car that's screeching around the corner. Go, 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 go! Then the backstory comes, and you realise that Mark's actually been in London's crime underworld, and now he's being dragged back into that lifestyle by Charlie Jolson.
You're in no position to be making demands. What's this all about, Charlie? I thought you'd retired. You know I have. Make the boy listen.
Well, one of the things we tried to do with this game is to make the story stand up, compared to a film, and that's difficult because traditionally in games the story tends to get in the way of the gameplay. So we make the gameplay work first, and then have the narrative wrap around it. So that's a bit of a different way to go about writing a story.
You think that playing as Mark Hamill, say, this guy's going to be a little bit of a dodgy geezer, perhaps not very moralistic. In fact, Mark Hamill plays the game for very moral reasons, to get his son back. Then you go to the other side of the law, and Frank Carter, who you assume is going to be the good guy figure, is a little bit dodgy in his ways, because even though he's playing as the right side of the law, he'll do anything to get his guy, if you like. Charlie Jolson, he would be your arch nemesis. Mark has had links with Charlie in the past, and you don't really find out until the end of the game why Charlie's doing this to Mark in particular. Yasmin's the game's hit woman. She's a professional now, she's been a trained killer. She was one of Charlie's girls, and he saw how she had a violent streak to her, and decided to train her for other purposes. The very fact that we've got people that are very integral to the story side of this game, actually within the team and working with the team, means that the storyline's never forgot, it's never missed, it's never tagged on. It pushes the game forward. It's just like watching an hour worth of gangster flick within a game.
Time to meet the relatives.
We knew we could build a really realistic city and really incredibly realistic cars, but we used to build characters the same way we'd always done in games. So, you get a few character sketches, then an artist started modelling them, and they tended to come out kind of stylized in a way, and that didn't really sit in the city. So we went out to just about every company in the world. We said, this is what we want to do. We want to have 5 actors in a scene at any one time. We want to capture their hand motions, and we want to be able to use props. And we did test. The only way we could do the most of that was using a magnetic motion capture system. Optical systems, which had lots of limitations compared to using a magnetic motion capture system. Like you don't get occlusions where their legs are under a desk and then you can't see them.
Frame 3, part 2, take 3.
I think the first couple of days were hilarious and really funny, and you kind of had to really dig deep to get into character. But after a while, you just totally forgot about the suits that you had on and acted.
I hurt people, old friends of mine, and that ain't enough for you, is it? I've done what you asked. I want my kid back.
From the research we did on the motion capture, we knew there was no good way of capturing people's facial expressions for their lip sync, either in optical or magnetic. So we recorded the live audio of what they were saying, and we used that to drive a system we call Talking Heads, which we wrote ourselves. That extracts people's phonemes. And then we have a facial animation system, and that takes those phonemes and applies them to someone's face. So that was kind of the icing on the cake, really, because we got the body motion capture, the hand expressions, and then we got the expressiveness of people's faces. And with their voices at the same time.
Put me down! Stop struggling!
We had another guy to play Charlie's character, and he was older than Ricky, but he wasn't a great actor. So we got Ricky to read that part, and he read it brilliantly. So we thought it would be quite easy to just make him older on the computer, and it turned out to be really, really hard. So we went down the more traditional route of having him sculpted and then aged up that way, and then we rescanned that model to get it in the game. What you have to do is you take the actor and they put this stuff called alginate on your head, which is like the stuff that they use to make molds of your teeth. And it starts out soft and gooey, but it sort of dries off pretty quickly. And then to stop that deforming, they put a plaster cast, just like if you've broken your leg, right around your head. And then you've got to sit there for an hour or so and let it all cook and dry off. And all this time you can't see a thing, and you've got 2 straws up your nose to breathe.
I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being locked in. I can control myself, but I'm kind of like, I don't like it. And after about 15 minutes, I could feel it coming. It comes away from your face. The rubber kind of moves away, and you can move your face inside the mask. I started to move my face, and the silly thing I tried to do, I opened my eyes. But you can't open your eyes, and then I realised I was trapped, and I panicked, and I just wanted to tear it off.
Then the next process is they fill that full of plaster of Paris, and they get a model of you that looks like you do now, and then you get a sculptor who basically starts to age you up, make your ears get bigger, making your nose get longer.
Hear me? Are you listening now, Marky boy? Put him in the chair.
To see me as an older man, but with my emotions and my voice, that's different, and that's a little scary sometimes. I just hope I don't look like when I'm older.
Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh, I'm not going to look like that.
You won't?
Once you've had a spring clean, tied up all the loose ends, you'll be safe to all the streets of London again. We'll meet at the boat.
From that point, it was just logical to get actors who would be the character, both in-game, so you can play that character, but also use them in the cinematic sections, using their voices, and then promotion as well. So it just seemed to be the logical evolution of what we're trying to do with the game. And for us, it meant a movie that you can actually play.
I don't want any excuses, Hammond. Just do the job if you want to see your kid alive.
Our approach really has kind of been evolutionary. We kind of think that there's a future in games that as a kind of new medium that's going to be as important in this century as films were in the last century. When we started out, we made a lot of decisions to try and do what we thought would be the future of games. One of the things we tried to not do is what we call screen litter, and that's just lots of things on the screen that take you out of the game. So we figured if you watch a movie and someone gets hurt, then you know they get hurt because you see them get shot. When someone's hurt in the limb, when they've been shot in the arm, then they hold their wound.
One of the nice things, and a very brave thing I think we've done, is that we have no real map. We use the car, which is your main focus of attention when you're driving, and we use indicators on that to tell you to go left, to go right. It doesn't tell you which road to go down, so you're not really being that restricted. London's quite a big place, it's got a lot of roads, and then you can go whatever road you want. You can pretty much get into every single car in the game. Every vehicle you can see, if you can stop it, you can get in that car. So you can drive things like buses, ambulances, anything really. But anything you can see, you can drive.
And we've got, true oversteer and true understeer in this game. Most cars will oversteer like the movies, like big American movies where the rear end goes out and they're hanging out around the corner, but cars, when they understeer, they actually steer less when you lift off the throttle. So we have that with a lot of European cars in front wheel drive.
We have a very accurate damage model for the game. Basically, no two crashes are the same because we calculate the damage in real time.
It allows us to have about 25 different properties for the cars. But one of the nice things is that these things deteriorate through the game. So if you are driving like a maniac and you'll crash into a lot of things, your handling will deteriorate.
The engine goes up in smoke, all the windows in the car smash as well. Just to, we just try to be as realistic as possible in that department.
One of the things we wanted to try and avoid is that you need to press every button to do the moves in the game. And that's because we want to get to a movie audience as well. We want people who watch movies but might not play the game to just pick it up and give it a go. So we have two control systems, one for driving, and then we have the game controls, which you can steer the character around using one analog stick. So if you're next to a wall, you'll go into stealth. In stealth, you can creep along the wall, and as you get to reach the end of the wall, rather than having another key press to do some lean out maneuver, we just push right on the stick, and the guy will lean out. You can do a lean out, then a shoot, a lean out, then a roll. Just put in very sort of simple key presses. I think very early on we made a conscious decision to keep the weaponry as real as possible, as real as it is in London. So we don't have things like flamethrowers or grenade launchers. When you start off with block automatic pistols, and they have 21-shot clips. And generally throughout, either the cops or the villains carry those guns. But sometimes you can pick up shotguns, and the shotgun's got 5 shots in the clips. If you pick up an AK-47, I think it's got 32 rounds.
If the player wants to pick up a shotgun, say, when he's already carrying 2 pistols, he has to holster his pistols before picking up some of the bigger weapons.
And you don't have to go to a menu and then select, what sort of gun. If there's a gun there on the ground and you run past it, he'll bend down and pick it up. We have quite a nice little system for the AI. It's pretty free roaming. It's allowed to travel anywhere on the map, basically. So if you're in a location, you interact with some AI and he's after you, and you leg it, he'll follow you. He finds a point of cover and you're attacking him, he'll duck. I think that gives you a nice sort of feel. The AI has hierarchy, so they have different grades of baddies. If you take a lowly thug hostage, it probably won't have much of an effect. If you take a sergeant major and the equivalent thing for a yardie, people below his level will think twice before they shoot you, rather than just storming in. They'll get defensive, they'll try not shooting you, and then until you let go of that guy. But it's quite nice and slant on how the missions play out.
Yeah, what's with a bird, Harry?
She's one of Charlie's specials.
Specials?
Special people with special jobs. She used to be on the game until she found her true calling.
What the fuck are you talking about, Harry?
She does the wet jobs. Charlie says they never see it coming from a bird.
What? She's a topper?
Oh, yeah, mate. She's not the slightest bit squeamish about a bit of claret.
What the fuck do we need someone like that on a job like this? It's meant to be a simple frightener. We pick up the bird, we pick up the kid, and we take him to Charlie.
You going soft eyebrows? Getting scruples, mate. Don't you know things have an habit of getting complicated?
Complicated? What can be complicated about picking up some bird and her kid?
They're on their way down. And what are you looking at? Oh, nothing to say? Good. Fucking Charlie. Said I'd be working with professionals, not a bunch of bloody has-beens.
Shut it, here they come.
Right, well, let's do the business then.
Watch and learn something. You move when I tell you to move. We'll wait till they've locked the door. The first rule, never leave the transaction an obvious route of escape. Let's go.
Transaction? Christ, what a bitch.
Your dad told me you might be captain of the squad this year. I'm proud of you then, eh?
Mrs. Hammond, could we have a word? We've got a few questions we'd like to ask you.
Yeah? Who's asking?
We'd like to discuss this in private if we could.
You're not the police. Since when the police start dressing like common tarts?
You bitch! Run out! Get him in the car! Move! Shut him up!
Zeus!
Idiots! Bloody amateurs!
Come on, get in the car, quick! Zeus!
Get off me! Put me down!
Come on, get him in! Go!
Don't worry, Suze.
Get our boy back. Shh. Get our boy.
Suze! Susie! Ah!
Attention requested to IC1 rail, dark suit, last seen Dryden Street.
Shit, where are they?